else was paying. I gave you the shirt off my back, what you saying? To keep you warm. I showed you the game everybody else was playing. That's for sure. And I was on my knees when nobody else was praying. Oh Lord. Where are you now, the nature? Where are you now that I need you? I need you, I need you, I need you, I need you, I need you. Where are you now that I need you? I need you, I need you, I need you. I need you the most.
You're feeling good, you're feeling right. Across the floor and I'm already losing my mind. Baby girl, looking fine. Watch you playing and play.
All right, y'all, it is 8 o'clock. We're gonna go ahead and get started. Can everyone hear me okay? Can I get like a thumbs up if you guys can hear me loud and clear? Or am I
We
talking,
can hear you.
or am I talking to myself? Thank you, Allison. I appreciate you, girl. She's that girl on the Zoom calls who always has her camera on and she's responding and answering questions. That goes for everybody. If you are not sitting on the toilet, I would appreciate if you guys could turn your cameras on. You know, we're a gym. We see each other every day in the mornings when we're not wearing makeup. So you can sacrifice a little face time with the team here. Maria's cozy in bed. I love to see it. She has to get in bed because she got an early morning workout. Laura's on the call. What a nice surprise. Maltiana's here. We got Cecilia.
I'm in the soccer
here.
pickup line.
Oh man. Well, you're using your time
Amazing.
effectively, so that's what matters. If you guys
Hi,
can see, I threw into the comment section, there's an app I'd like you guys to download, if you're safe to do so. This is something we're going to touch on a little bit later, but I want to make sure that that is downloaded and squared away prior to us starting. It just takes a quick second. We got them good. Oh, we got a lot more people here. We got Victoria. I saw you earlier. Evelyn's on here. Okay, girl. Emily, Rose, Kristen, Christine, Ingrid, Patricia, Elizabeth, Jasmine. Wow, we got a lot of people. Awesome. Okay. I know y'all want to get to bed. It's been a long day, so I'm not gonna waste anyone's time. So as the text message said, today we are going to talk about macros. I feel like there's so much about macro tracking and calorie tracking, and oftentimes it is pretty overwhelming. So my objective with this presentation is that you guys can walk away with a little more confidence and with a little bit of knowledge to take your nutrition to the next level. Because ultimately we all know that working out is great, but to see results, 80% of it is nutrition. Would you guys agree? Like you can work out all you want, but if you're eating like shit, you're not gonna see much results there. So I'm gonna give you guys some takeaways. It's gonna be a quick presentation. So really be attentive. And if you have any questions, use the is there a raise your hand feature on this one? I think so. Just use that feature to raise your hand. Okay, cool. All right, sorry, a bunch of people are jumping on. I'm trying to keep up with this. All right, so let's start with the basics. So there's two different types of things that you guys want to look at here. So you got macros and then you got calories. You guys know what macros are? Yes. All right, we got proteins, we got carbs, and we got fats. All right, three macros that you look at. Protein is going to be the most important one for you guys. As you guys are tearing down your muscles, you need protein to repair. So that's going to be one of your best friends. Carbs are definitely going to be another great friend of yours because as you guys are working out, you guys are burning through your glycogen levels. And the only way to replenish that glycogen is to consume carbs, right? And then you got fats, and those are going to be like your omega-3 fats, the fats that are good for your joints, for your hair, for your nails, for your skin. So what I'm trying to get at here is all macros are important, okay? Now keep in mind, when you're talking about protein, there is 4 calories per gram of protein, okay? For carbs, there is 4 calories per gram of carb. But for fats, there's 9 calories per gram of fat. So fats technically have a lot higher fat. That's why you see like in peanut butter and stuff, those types of nut butters, they have a lot higher fat. Nothing's wrong with it. It's just good to be aware because as you're consuming protein, carbs, and fats, those align with your calories, right? So you guys get the understanding of macros? Yes? Okay. So putting macros to the side, if we're just looking objectively at calories, right? Calories, you're either eating in a caloric maintenance, a caloric deficit, or a caloric surplus. So if you're trying to gain weight, you're going to typically be eating in a caloric surplus. If you're trying to lose weight, you're going to be in a caloric deficit. If you're trying to maintain your body weight and maybe build a little bit of muscle, you might just be at a maintenance calorie goal. But ultimately, whichever you're choosing, you need to make sure that you're prioritizing the right macros as well, right? So if you're not eating enough food in the day, you're eating less calories, at least make sure you're prioritizing your protein as a majority of those calories so that you're able to help build muscle. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
I don't want to confuse you guys. So I'm not going to talk on this a lot, but just get the basic understanding, protein, carbs, and fats. And then we are going to look at calories in how many calories you should be eating on a daily basis to get to your goal. Okay? All right. And Teresa's on this call too. I'll be doing a majority of the talking, but she's definitely going to be butting in here whenever she can. So we're going to start with this quick little video to understand what a calorie is, how the body burns through calories, because I feel like calories have a negative connotation. Don't you guys agree? Like, you're eating too many calories. That's why you're not losing weight. No, it's everyone's calorie intake is different. Okay. And so I want you guys to understand the purpose of a calorie, what a calorie does, and then we'll go into what your calories will look like after this
Tourists.
ad.
Tourists that turn into scientists. Tourists taking
Can you guys
photos that
hear
are
this?
analyzed
Yes?
by AI. So researchers can help life underwater flourish.
We hear about calories all the time. How many calories are in this cookie? How many are burned by 100 jumping jacks, or long distance running, or fidgeting? But what is a calorie really? And how many of them do we actually need? Calories are a way of keeping track of the body's energy budget. A healthy balance occurs when we put in about as much energy as we lose. If we consistently put more energy into our bodies than we burn, the excess will gradually be stored as fat in our cells. and we'll gain weight. If we burn off more energy than we replenish, we'll lose weight. So we have to be able to measure the energy we consume and use, and we do so with a unit called the calorie. 1 calorie, the kind we measure in food, also called a large calorie, is defined as the amount of energy it would take to raise the temperature of 1 kilogram of water by 1 degree Celsius. Everything we consume has a calorie count, a measure of how much energy the item stores in its chemical bonds. The average pizza slice has 272 calories. There are about 78 in a piece of bread, and an apple has about 52. That energy is released during digestion and stored in other molecules that can be broken down to provide energy when the body needs it. It's used in 3 ways. About 10% enables digestion, about 20% fuels physical activity, and the biggest chunk, around 70%, supports the basic functions of our organs and tissues. That third usage corresponds to your basal metabolic rate, a number of calories you would need to survive if you weren't eating or moving around. Add in some physical activity and digestion, and you arrive at the official guidelines for how many calories the average person requires each day: 2,000 for women and 2,500 for men. Those estimates are based on factors like average weight, physical activity, and muscle mass. So does that mean everyone should shoot for around 2,000 calories? Not necessarily. If you're doing an energy-guzzling activity, like cycling the Tour de France, your body could use up to 9,000 calories per day. Pregnancy requires slightly more calories than usual. And elderly people typically have a slower metabolic rate. Energy is burned more gradually, so less is needed. Here's something else you should know before you start counting calories. The calorie counts on nutrition labels measure how much energy the food contains, not how much energy you can actually get out of it. Fibrous foods like celery and whole wheat take more energy to digest, so you'd actually wind up with less energy from a 100-calorie serving of celery than a 100-calorie serving of potato chips. Not to mention the fact that some foods offer nutrients like protein and vitamins, while others provide far less nutritional value. Eating too many of those foods could leave you overweight and malnourished. And even with the exact same food, different people might not get the same number of calories. Variations in things like enzyme levels, gut bacteria, and even intestine length means that every individual's ability to extract energy from food is a little different. So a calorie is a useful energy measure, but to work out exactly how many of them each of us requires, we need to factor in things like exercise, food type, and our body's ability to process energy. Good luck finding all of that on a nutrition label.
Okay. You guys, hopefully now you have an understanding of what a calorie is. It's calories that we consume are what we get our energy from, right? And the amount of calories that Daniel eats might be different from Laura. So when you guys are trying to follow like meal plans that fitness gurus are posting on their social media, you cannot do that because everyone's basal metabolic rate is different. Like I work out a lot. So my basal metabolic rate's a lot higher than someone who has a very sedentary lifestyle, right? So they can't be basing their diet, what they're eating, off of what I'm eating because we're in 2 different health conditions or status, right? So a good thing for you guys to keep in mind as you guys work out, your basal metabolic rate increases, which means you're allowed to eat more food than a normal person who doesn't exercise, right? And especially after HIIT training, your basal metabolic rate boosts for up 24 to 48 hours after the workout. So that might make sense why after HIIT workouts you have like this rage to eat a lot of food, right? So it's important to be aware that your body's just fueling through all of these calories that you're consuming. And oftentimes after your workouts, if you're feeling depleted, tired, like you can't recoup from it, oftentimes it's just because you're not eating enough food in the day. Okay. So everyone now is probably like, okay, cool. So what do I eat? Like, how many calories do I need for my nutrition? Right. So we're going to go into that. Um, so what I need you guys to do is there's this link I put in the group chat. Hold on. It's called Precision Nutrition. I want everyone to open this link on their phones or on their computers, whichever you have access to. Okay, so it's going to take you to precisionnutrition.com. So this is going to be where we're going to calculate our macros, how many calories we're consuming, how much protein, carbs, and fats we need to support based on our level of activity in the gym, level of activity at work, and all those types of things. Okay, so if you scroll down, there's a button that says get started. Do you guys see that? Yes. So you're going to go ahead and fill that out for yourself. So you're going to click, is this for yourself or for a client? Click myself. Go ahead and put in your age. Not me putting in 28. You're going to put in your biological sex, how tall you are. You're going to do your weight. And if anyone has any questions, just feel free to jump off mute, okay? And then you're going to go into what is your goal? Are you looking to lose weight? Are you looking to build muscle? Or are you just looking to enhance athletic performance? You choose which one aligns best with you. There's also body recomposition, which means losing fat and gaining muscle simultaneously, or just simply improving health. How much weight do you want to weigh? That is what you're looking to lose. Let's be realistic here. You're not going to lose 25 pounds in a month. So let's be realistic with this goal. We can always adjust these macros as we start to kind of work with it and working these macros into our nutrition. Okay. But if you're looking to maintain weight, I would just stay around the same weight that you're looking for. And then let's put it for 3 months from now. All right. And then it's going to ask you, what's your preferred eating style? I'm going to go with anything. If you guys have preferences, you can go ahead and do that. And then it's going to say, do you want to use anything standard macronutrients ratios? You're going to say yes, use standard. How many meals do you like to eat in a day? It's not how many you eat right now, because a lot of you guys, I'll be honest, are probably not eating enough in a day. You should be eating like 4 to 5 meals, and a meal can easily be a smoothie. Okay. So let's aim for like 4 or 5. Be realistic with your schedule. Like if you cannot eat at work for 12 hours out of the day, maybe you can only afford to eat 3. But ultimately what it's going to do is it's going to split up your macros within the number of meals that you're able to consume. Okay. So be realistic with that. It's going to describe how active you are each day. And this is not talking about your workouts. This is talking about what you do at work. If you're sitting at a desk all day, you're going to put very light. If you, I don't even want to get into examples, but just reflect on how, I guess, like physically demanding your job is, and then answer that question. I would say like I'm moderate, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's like construction is extraneous. All right, and then you'll see the next question is, what best describes your weekly workouts? Is it very light? 1 to 3 hours, 3 to 4, 4 to 6, 7 plus. Go ahead and pop that in there. And then what you're gonna get is your results. Okay, so what you're gonna have to do is go to access your complete guide. And then you have to put in your name and your email, because it's going to send you your calculations. Okay. All right. And I received mine. So I'm going to pull mine up for just like a just as a way to kind of show you guys what we're looking at. Okay. Did everyone get the email? Yes. You guys got your results? Okay.
Yeah.
If you didn't, just take some time to do it later. It's no rush. If you want to take more time to work on it, that's perfectly fine. But if you see it's if you scroll down to the bottom, it's going to tell you here. Wait, where's my camera? I can't even see what I'm looking at. Okay, here. It's going to give you your calories that are estimated that you should be consuming in a day. And then it's going to break those calories into a protein, carb, and a fat goal. Okay. And it'll even give you a reference of like, I'll show you how to measure food, but if you're using your hand, what that would look like. Okay. And it gives you some resources that you guys can use. But ultimately, what I need you guys to do is get to this part of the email and take a photo of it or screenshot it.
This thing
Everyone-
is telling me to eat 158 grams of protein.
Period.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. But I'll be honest, most people that work out are protein deficient. So it's very common to be like in shock if you're like, oh my God, that is not what I imagine. So I'll talk about how we'll work up towards that. I'm not saying that's what we're going to do right away, but we're going to work up to it. Okay. Does everyone else have their results? Hopefully so.
It's a lot of calories.
Can I get some verbal confirmation? Maria, did you figure it out? Yes. Okay. Victoria?
I have not yet.
I'm listening. I'm gonna do it when I get to my computer. I'm driving,
That's
but I'm
perfect.
listening. I'm
It's
taking it
very,
all in.
it's very self-explanatory.
Yeah.
And I have this recorded. So if you guys want to follow through with this later on, I'll send you guys the link to this.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, of course. So just to reiterate, we got caloric deficit, caloric maintenance, and caloric surplus. Caloric deficit is meaning you're consuming less calories than you're typically burning. So if you put in the calculator that you want to lose weight and that's your main goal, it probably puts you in a deficit. If you asked it to, you want to gain muscle, it might have put you in a caloric surplus. But ultimately that's okay because all we're doing here is just giving your body the nutrients, the protein, the carbs and fats that it needs to sustain and build towards the goal that you're working towards. Okay. Now, basically that's everything we just went through. Okay. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. Yep. I definitely got ahead of myself. Sorry. There was illustration for all this. Oops. Okay. So let's get into some macros because are like typical protein, carbs, and fats that you guys should be consuming. Because this is gonna get all those confusing questions out of the way of like, well, I have hot dogs, is that protein? No, it's not. Okay. So what I like to tell everyone this. Your food, 99% of your food should either have a mom or come from the ground. Does that make sense? Not from a factory, not from a machine. It should either that thing that you're eating should unfortunately have a mother. Sheds a tear.
That's a mom.
Or it comes from the ground, okay? Because what you put in your body is going to be the most important part. Like you can eat protein, but if you're eating processed foods, you're doing yourself a huge disservice, okay? And I'm not saying cut it all out because it's not realistic for me, it's not realistic for you, it's not realistic for anyone. But it's all about eating in moderation, okay? And becoming hyper aware of that. So what we're going to do is look at the green columns and kind of break down the types of things that you guys should be eating. Let's start with carbs, okay? Typically when we go for carbs, we might think of like crackers, sugary snacks, pretzels, cereal bars. We want to stay away from those type of carbs because they take so long, they take so much energy to digest, and they don't give you energy back. Versus if you're consuming things like quinoa, rice, right? Steel cut oats. These are the types of carbs that you want to stick to. Simple carbs that are going to generate and help you gain energy for your workouts. We're talking about fats, okay? Bacon's fine, but if you're eating like a lot of bacon, it can be too much fats. Like I said before, fats are typically a higher calorie dense macro, so you want to keep that in mind. But virgin olive oil, walnut oil, avocado oil. But as you can see, what we're staying away from: sunflower oil, vegetable oil, soybean oil, canola oil. And those are all the oils that you typically find in like Lay's chips and all these different processed foods
And protein snacks.
and protein snacks. You can find these unfortunately in them. So just becoming hyper aware of those, because those types of oils are not healthy for you. All right. And then as everyone here that works out, your best friend is going to be protein, 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 protein. If there's anything you're eating throughout the day, you'll want to prioritize protein. One, because it helps to repair those muscles that you're tearing down, but protein is also the most satiating macro there is. So if you're eating proteins throughout the day, you're not going to have those huge cravings where you just want to indulge and eat all the time, right? So with that in mind, eggs, you can buy cartons of egg whites, fish, chicken, the whole, you guys know the spiel with proteins, okay? I don't even have to go through, it's not first grade, but these are definitely the things that you want to prioritize. And what you want to stay away from is like fried chicken fingers that you're cooking for your kids, all right? Fried meats, those chicken nuggets, leave those. And honestly, I get it, it's easy for your kids, but if it's impacting you because it's right there, then you guys are going to have to negotiate and figure out a way that it's not there so you don't eat it. Or high mercury fish, another thing to keep in mind. Any specific like questions, like things that you guys have heard on the street and you want clarification on that you want to clarify? Anything?
Nothing to clarify on my end. I'd love to get an idea of your weekly menu there, Gerald.
Yes, I can definitely talk more about what I do, and we're going to talk about that meal prepping, because we can talk about measuring calories, you can talk about macros, but how are you going to strategically execute on this so that it does help you? Because it's good to know it, but it's one thing to know it and one thing to act on it, right? So,
Yeah, meal prep's huge when
yup,
you
exactly,
live in your car.
literally. She's looking in her fridge now. She's like, huh.
And Nydia asked, is it bad to eat oatmeal for fat loss? No,
Absolutely
oatmeal
not.
is amazing.
It's a great carb, simple carb that, you know, I mean, you can dress it up or dress it down as much as you want. I put like maple syrup. I like there's a lot of things you can do to it. But oats is a great source of carbs for you. Okay. Juan?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, thank you so much, Gerald and Teresa, for the response. Gerald, I know that you said steel cut oats is okay, but can we do old fashioned oats? Because that's what I've been using lately.
Yeah, that's perfectly
Okay.
fine.
All right. Thank you.
Of course. Juan?
Sorry, it's Vivi. I don't know why it shows up
Oh,
as Juan's Zoom, which is really weird. But so like when I've gone grocery shopping, I see like, for example, like Kodiak, like the high protein packed, like they have oats and everything. It has more calories but higher in protein, like than other stuff. So is it still like for fat loss at least? Um, like should I go with that? Like more protein, even though it has a little bit more calories than usual brands?
yeah. I mean, it all comes down to, at the end of the day, how many calories did you consume? It's not about necessarily what's in that one meal, but if that one meal is going to be a majority of your calories, well, then how are you going to eat the rest of the day, right? So I guess the question you need to ask yourself is like, what is a appropriate portion of Kodiak cakes for me to eat for this meal? And how does the rest of my day look? Am I still going to be able to get my protein with the remaining amount of calories that I need to consume? Make sense?
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
So that's where this comes in. It's a great segue into, unless you have any other questions.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say something.
Yeah.
Vivi, when I personally have Kodiak cakes, I'll use that as my carb source essentially, but it's a plus because you do get some protein in.
Mhm.
One serving is half a cup. It's not going to fill you up. So I'll typically have like 2 eggs on the side as well for some healthy fats and more protein. So that's how if you're eating Kodiak cakes, I feel like that's a great way to have it. Have some additional protein on the side as well.
Laura.
May I add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
So with all of this, I think this is all super important, but it's really the most important thing is to not look at this as a reason to cut out every food that you like for fat loss. Nydia, specifically for oatmeal, it's a great thing that makes you super full. And if it makes you happy to eat oatmeal, eat oatmeal. Think of ways that you can add more protein to make it more satiating. So take things that you really like that are good for you, nothing that you eat that are whole foods that are nice carbs for you are going to be bad for you, but think about how you can up those even more. Can you add colorful fruits to it? Can you add egg whites to your oatmeal? Can you eat eggs on the side? Something that's going to take that and make it 100 times better. So take the foods that you like and juice them up nutritionally, and then you'll be happier and healthier all in one.
There we go.
Thank you, Laura.
I couldn't have said it better. That's awesome. That's a really good point, y'all. Like all the like calories, macros are cool, but if you're torturing yourself with your nutrition and it's just like you might as well just be in jail eating what they give you there. Like, what's the point, right? So everything that we're doing here, we want to be realistic. Like if you have questions on how you can make your foods a little bit better, like ask, because we'll give you the guidance that you might need just so that you're walking away with that confidence and able to enjoy the foods that you want. So this app, I love MyFitnessPal. A lot of people will go for this app. There's also like First Form, bunch of different apps for this, but what this is, a macro tracking app. Okay, so you're going to download it and then it's going to ask you for your macros, and we did that on the precision nutrition, right? We figured out our calories, figured out how much protein, how much carbs, how much fats. You're going to put that in there and it's going to give you this. It's going to give you like what your total goal is. And what's nice is with this app, you can type in any product that you're eating. If it's Kodiak cakes, you could put the measurement that you're consuming, and then it'll immediately deduct it from your macros for the day, and it'll tell you what you have left. Make sense? So I mean, if you guys want, we can spend time getting set up on this app. It's not very difficult. If you guys want to go into the App Store, it's on all devices, MyFitnessPal. Even if you're not going to use it and you want to use something else, just for the sake of this activity, so it stays interactive, let's all download it together.
Also, if you are doing the transformation program, MyFitnessPal is interlinked with the Hodges Fitness app. So for your nutrition portion, if you guys are on the MyFitnessPal app tracking everything, we'll also be able to see it on the Hodges Fitness app, which is good because I can see exactly what you're eating and your macros as well. So this will be perfect for you guys.
Period. All right. Are you guys on the app? So usually it'll look like this on your home screen. What your calories you have to eat in that day and how many meals you have. So the way to go in and add that yourself, you're going to, oh God, not the ads popping up.
Got it.
All right, so you're gonna click on here, you're gonna scroll down and you're gonna click on your calories here, and then you're gonna fill that out. Okay. So put in the calories that you were told. For me, it's 4,237.
How much?
4,237. And then it's saying that you're gonna have to look at the numbers at the top with the percentages. But typically your protein is gonna be a little bit of a higher, your carbs is gonna be your highest, protein will typically be your second highest, and then your fats is gonna be the smallest. And unfortunately, unless you upgrade to the paid version, it won't let you insert it with grams the way it would make it easier. Of course, they did that. You guys working on it?
Also, when you guys look at your overall calorie goal, it's going to be a lot more than what you currently eat. So don't feel like you have to jump up all of a sudden. If you're eating like 2 meals a day right now, you're probably eating like 1,500 calories. And if it's saying eat 2,500, don't feel like you need to up your calories by 1,000 tomorrow. You know,
Yeah.
it's just being mindful of how much you're eating, that you probably should be eating more, and more importantly, eating towards that protein goal that it's giving you, right? The carbs and healthy fats will fall into place as well with vegetables, fruits, all of that. But aiming just to increase your calories a little bit, if that's what it's telling you, and your protein is what I want you guys to pay attention to, okay?
All right. So you guys can get into my fitness pal and you can play with it and figure it out. It's pretty self-explanatory, but my challenge for you guys as you guys get started with tracking macros, if this is something that you want to do, is start with 7 days of just tracking what you're currently eating. Don't worry about meeting a certain calorie right now. Don't worry about meeting a certain protein intake right now. I want you to go based on your current nutrition, your current diet, and just get in the habit of scanning your foods. You know what I mean? Because if you just go from like not tracking anything to strict diet, strict calories, getting your macros every single day, it's not realistic, right? So what I want you guys to do is for the next few days, just get in the habit of scanning everything or tracking everything. And then we're going to reflect on it at the end of the week and see what are we eating each day? Are we hitting a consistent calorie intake, or is one day 800 and then one day is 2400, then one day it's 800 again? Because if that's the case, we need to figure out a routine to eat so that we're staying consistent throughout the day. So that's my first challenge for you guys. Can you guys give me a thumbs up that you guys are just going to spend the next few days just tracking what you're eating, not trying to be perfect, not tracking your calories on what you have to eat now. Simply just get in that routine of eating. Laura, I can't with the fireworks. Just get in the habit of measuring your food before we start doing anything. Okay. And then next week, I want you to look back and see like, okay, how much protein am I eating in a day? Wow, I am not eating nearly enough. If that is the case, which I guarantee for 99.9% of the people in this call, your priority is to go straight to that protein and just work on building that up first. I don't want you to work on hitting protein, carbs, and fats, all of them perfectly every single day. Okay. Next week, let's just work on hitting up that protein take. Protein goal every day. Okay. And then as you start to fuel, your body's going to start to adapt and change. It's gonna be like, what the hell, Laura? You're giving me more protein. Like, I feel ready to go. Like, my energy is here. My workouts I'm performing better. And start to feel it, because that's what you want ultimately, is you want to be in sync with your body and you want your macros to align with how you feel. So, and a lot of you guys might realize you're not even eating enough. And that might be just why you're not losing weight, because you're not giving your body enough calories to support your workouts and to support your body's daily functions of like operating. You know what I mean? So, and that's the case for a lot of women that I talk to, is they're like, Gerald, I'm not losing weight. I hit a plateau. I'm like, how many calories are you eating? They're like, I'm eating 1,500. I'm like, what are you, a little baby? Like, you need to be eating a lot more food if you're working out, you know? And like for women especially, you guys got so much stuff going on in that body that you need those calories to support your bodily functions, okay? So I want you to keep that in mind. Like for this week, just look at what you're eating, how many calories you're eating, how close are you to what you're expected to eat? And then from there, you want to strategize and slowly work your way up. It's not perfect. And you want to ease into this because you have to realize this is not a temporary solution, just like working out isn't. It's something that you learn with, you apply into your lifestyle, and then before you know it, it's a part of your lifestyle, right? So ease that into your routine. And I promise you, like it'll start to get easier. And for me personally, well, recently it's changed, but I used to track it a lot, and now I know what I need to eat in a day to support my daily activity, similar to Teresa. But now that I'm training for this triathlon, I'm actually in this process where now I'm like trying to figure out how much protein I need to be eating because it's gonna change drastically, right? Because if I'm not eating enough protein, guess what's gonna happen? My muscle mass is slowly gonna go down because I'm not able to repair all the muscle I'm tearing down. Okay. Um, Now you got your calories, you got your protein, you got your carbs, you got your fats, right? This is assuming that you're doing the workouts that you're doing. But if Cecilia says she works out every day, and then a month from now, she only works out twice a week and she continues to eat in this caloric intake, the opposite might happen, right? She's working out less, she's eating more calories, she's going to gain weight in a sense. So it's very important. If your workout routine changes or you go to a new job and that changes, go back into precision nutrition, run through those questions again, get a new calorie intake so that you know that that aligns with your current lifestyle because I know things are always changing. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Any questions there?
They were bigger last time.
Who's talking? I don't know who that was.
She muted herself real quick.
Just oh shit. Okay. So the last thing we're going to talk about today with this whole macros thing is the concept of meal prepping. Who meal preps? Laura meal preps. Maria meal preps. Teresa meal preps. Maltiana meal preps. I see a few of you guys. Okay. Well, there's like how many people? 37,
34 now.
34 people on this call. And just like 5 to 8 of us are meal prepping, which is totally fine. But if you want to get consistent at eating in your macros, you're going to have to utilize meal prepping as your way, unless you're like, which I'll be so jealous, if you're a housewife and you have no job and you just can cook all day long and you want that, go ahead. I applaud you. I wish I could do the same, but unfortunately, my day is packed. I'm working. I got things to do. I don't have time every single day to sit down and just watch a piece of chicken sizzle on the pan. Okay. And I know that every single one of you don't either. So meal prepping is going to be the most important part. For me, I do it on Sundays. I'm sure for Laura, she probably does it on Sundays. Typically, people who work on 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, do it on Sundays because you don't want to do it on a Saturday and then your chicken be dry as fuck on Friday, right? You want to get as close to the week as possible, but you got to be realistic. When can you set up time in your schedule to meal prep? Okay. Nurses, different schedules. I know you guys might work on the weekend. So what day during the week can you meal prep to support yourself for the next 3 to 4 days? Okay. Because what happens is if you don't prep your foods and they're not available, what happens when you're about to jump on a call and you didn't have lunch or breakfast and you're starving? You're going straight for the pantry and you're going to grab that box of Cheez-Its and you're going to nibble on that while you're taking the meeting. I know, because I'm guilty of it. Most of us are guilty of it. And that's okay. But how nice would it be instead if you're about to rush out that door, you're like, oh, thank God my chicken's cooked. Thank God my rice is ready. Thank God my vegetables are steamed. Because all I have to do is throw it in a lunchbox. And once you go and eat, you feel good, right? And you know that the meal that you ate is supporting your goals. versus if you're running around trying to grab the scraps, leftover chicken nuggets off the pan that your kids were eating for lunch. Like, you know what I mean?
Not them feeling attacked.
No, but like I'm saying this from experience because that's how I was too. But the thing that really was game changer was the meal prepping. Like I'm sure Laura can contest to it too. Like cooking your foods in advance, it makes a world of a difference, right?
Yes, and if anyone ever needs easy, good meal prep, I have so many recipes. So just tell me what you like, and I'll give you. There are so many accounts to follow on Instagram and TikTok that has so many meal prep recipes. So highly recommend.
Yes. So utilize us as resources. If there's any other like you go based on what you like, okay? I personally don't like seafood as much. I think it's stinky, I think it's gross. And but I love chicken and I love steak, so like I cook a lot of it and then that's my main protein source. But be realistic. What works for you? What do you enjoy eating? Like Laura said before, you want things that you enjoy. So season the fuck out of your chicken. Make it taste good. Put some vegetables into it, like fajita style. Make it delicious so that you want to eat it. You don't want to be like you're punishing yourself. Okay. So plan out your week, make a shopping list of what you need for your meal prep and then take that shopping list and go to the grocery store and keep your head down and look at your paper and only go through the perimeter of the grocery store. It's not a game of going through every aisle to find every lucky cereal box you can. You're there, you're on a mission, you know exactly what you want. Don't go based on your cravings because you don't need to bring stuff into your house that you're going to try to reach for when you're hungry, okay? Um so that's a big takeaway. Make sure you're prepared before the grocery store. Don't go in there thinking like, "Oh, I wish I cooked this week." No, have that prepared in advance. Cook all your food in the same day that you buy it. Don't go to the grocery store and then put your food in the refrigerator and then say, tomorrow I'll meal prep. No, 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 no. Because what happens is tomorrow comes around, you're busy, you forget, you start to do that whole cycle again of just like, this week is not going to work. I'm just going to wait till next week, right? So when you get home, set that time that you're going to go grocery shopping and that time that you're going to meal prep. And it should be like a 2 to 3 hour window. Okay. Make it exciting. Like grab your spouse. You guys do it together. Grab your kids, get them involved. To make it a way that it's realistic for you with your lifestyle if you have kids or whatever the case might be. And keep in mind, the more consistent you are with these meal preps, the easier it is going to be to track, right? Because what happens is on MyFitnessPal, if you start to report that every day you're eating 60 grams of 5 ounces of chicken, 60 grams of rice, and 15 grams of steamed vegetables. Tomorrow, you can literally just click copy and paste. You don't have to manually insert the same meal again and again and again. And you'll slowly start to see it becomes easier and easier and easier. Okay. All right. I love that. You guys are so excited. And I can't wait for you guys to crush this because this is a new year. This is your opportunity to take that step, right? So we got all this knowledge. Now, what are we going to do? I want you guys to come in because you attended this virtual nutrition seminar. You guys all get a body scan. Okay, so come in 10 minutes before class, and I want you to get a body scan. I don't need you printing it because I know you should have the app. And if you don't have the app, I need you to download it because you're not using the paper. Okay, because I know you're not going to even look at that paper. It's just going to sit in your center console. So do your body scan. It'll upload on your app. I want to get a baseline of where we are before we start to do all this meal prep. Okay. And then a month from now, let's see how much that nutrition has changed our bodies. Okay. But we can't just go based off not knowing anything. We need a baseline to start with. So that's what I'm encouraging you to do. Come in 10 minutes early, get your body scan, and let's start to just this week track whatever we're eating. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, just track it and then stick with it. Every day is not going to be perfect. There's those days where you end up not coming home the entire day and you thought you were going to be home, so you only had 2 meals. That's okay. That was one day. That does not dictate the rest of your week, your month, your year. Okay. So just try to stay consistent. And the more consistent you are, the more realistic and sustainable this will be for your lifestyle. And remember, this is not a temporary solution. So get in that mindset that this is a lifestyle change, okay? Because if you think of this as like, I'm gonna do this for 2 months, you're gonna give up before 2 months, like I already know, because something's gonna happen and you're just gonna be frustrated and you're just gonna stop, okay? So remember, it's not a temporary solution. And it's not something, wait, I can't even read this. Sorry. Learning how to check your macros is not something you have to do for the rest of your life. However, it is crucial for the foundation of nutrition, especially if you struggle with weight loss and muscle gain. Once you establish your macro goals, then we can hone in on other factors for weight loss and muscle gain, like what other factors can contribute to that. But unless you've done and mastered eating in your calories and getting enough protein, you don't like that. That should be the first step if you're hitting a plateau or if you're trying to take your fitness to the next level. Once you mastered that and you're like, okay, now I really want to get to that next level. Okay, what can we do to amplify your routines so that we can take your body that next level as well? Okay. Yes, and thank you for answering that question, Luis. The app is called eVolt 360. Oh, eVolt Active. Okay. So eVolt Active, and everyone should have received an email. If you didn't receive an email, send a text to the studio, and I'll take a look tomorrow morning and resend you your invitation so that you can get into the app. Okay, because everyone has an account through there if you've done a body scan. Or you can also do forget password as well. Okay. All right. Some tidbits, take away. Other contributing factors, if you're struggling to lose weight, could be gut health, hormonal health, stress management, sleep quality, food quality, eating habits, timing of your meals, alcohol consumption, empty calories, and your exercise regimen. All right. There's a ton of different other contributing factors, but for now, let's just focus on one thing at a time. Okay. We're going to do these seminars every month, and we're just going to continue to pour in more knowledge so you guys can build your foundation to nutrition so that this is your best friend. Okay. But those are some other things to keep in mind. All right.
Awesome.
So we'll end with a quick Q&A. But before we do, we have a few questions. Is there somewhere on Precise, well, this goes into Q&A. Is there somewhere on a Precise Nutrition, Precision Nutrition, we could find that chart you showed where it showed what protein, carbs, and fats we should eat more of and less of? Yeah, so if you go and click email the report, it'll give you like a full breakdown of what your macros are. Okay. Oh, and you're talking about the chart too. Yeah, so I'll send this presentation slide out with the video of the seminar as well for you guys. Okay. Any questions? Come on. No question is a dumb question.
Oh, wait.
Unless you're gonna ask me what is a protein. Not just joking.
Someone's but ask.
All right, Victoria.
Should we be tracking like condiments or like dressings, stuff like that?
It's definitely something that you want to consider because like Chick-fil-A sauce for example, you're like, I just put a teaspoon or like a tablespoon, but a tablespoon is 130 calories, right? And how 130 calories can equate to like a handful of chicken or something, you know? So I would encourage you to do so, but don't be so hard on yourself if you don't. Okay. Does that
Thank
answer
you.
your question?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Anyone else? One other person raise their hand. Christine.
Hey guys, I don't know if you guys can relate or if you guys have any tips, but I find that when I'm trying to increase my protein, I'm very like uncomfortable and bloated.
Yeah.
And I feel more, I guess, like dense. I don't know, and that usually makes me stop trying to hit that protein goal. Do you guys have any tips on getting over that if it gets any better?
Yeah, how much protein would you say you eat right now, like without tracking?
Maybe like 100 grams.
What's the protein source? Is it protein powder? Is it?
Well, right now without tracking, I'm just eating like chicken and I feel fine. But if I'm doing like protein powder plus meats and Greek yogurt and all the things, then I start feeling
You're doing the
a little
double
bloated.
combo. You're doing the double combo right
Well,
there.
it's a lot of protein.
It's a
Yeah.
lot of protein, but you got to keep in mind the main source there is dairy.
I
And
see.
for
Mhm.
you specifically, you might be a lot more lactose intolerant like me. Um, and if you're consuming a lot of it, it's definitely going to leave you feeling bloated. So try to stick to more whole protein sources. Like I said before, that poor thing should have a mother, okay? Um, and protein shakes don't got a mother. That's just powder, is lactose. But obviously, you know, it's okay to take protein shakes because ultimately it might not be realistic for you to eat all that protein in a day, right? So protein shakes are a supplement that's supposed to support, not replace your intake for protein. It's just to bridge in those little gaps where you might be missing out.
Yeah. And well, I'll talk in this one. And also I don't know if I'm lactose intolerant. I self-diagnosed myself. But I find that ISO whey is a lot more easier to digest. And I don't get bloated when I take that. But when I have things that it's like the full whey protein, that hits my stomach and I feel it and I feel bloated too. So maybe try ISO whey if you find that you like actually enjoy protein shakes and find that you need to get it in at some point in your day. Otherwise, yeah, stick to whole source protein foods like eggs in the morning, ground turkey, chicken, steak, fish, shrimp. You know, there's a lot of options.
Yeah,
Also,
Thank
again,
you
about
guys. Mhm.
yeah,
keeping
try that. Try prioritizing more whole protein sources, less dairy protein sources, and see how that makes your body feel. Okay, there's a comment.
Plant-based protein.
So is whey good? Any recommendations? I get one break for 12-hour shifts and 170 grams of protein is a lot.
Yeah.
So whey is great for whey is perfectly fine. If you're able to tolerate whey protein, there's nothing's wrong with it. If you want, what we also have is MRP. It's a meal, it's called a meal replacement, but I consider it more like a meal supplement.
snack.
Because what it does, it has the protein that you would get in a protein shake, but it also gives you the carbs and the fats that you would be eating in a meal. And for someone like you, where you have a very short break during a 12-hour shift and you need to fit in your calories, your protein, carbs, and fats, that might be a great option for you, because it's going to help you to get to your calorie intake for the day. And the MRP has 27 grams of protein. The protein shakes have 21. So it has a little more grams of protein as well in a shake.
Allison, to answer your question about plant-based protein, you just need to look at the or you're talking about
Quality.
yeah, the ingredients because there are so many plant-based things that are full with inflammatory oils and random ingredients just to fill it, you know? So if you're looking at the back of like a vegan protein, just look at the ingredients and if it passes the test of like clean ingredients, whole food ingredients, then that's a yes. That's a good one. This is a really good one. Okay, there's a lot of brands, but like when you look at the ingredients here, it's
Literally,
it's
yeah, for plant-based
so
proteins,
clean.
take
main
a look
ingredients
at that brand,
that
Kachava.
I have, yeah, Kachava is good, KOS is good, and Earth Chimp are all good. Those are the ones that I bounce between
Yeah.
because
And
I'm lactose intolerant.
when you guys are measuring your protein, usually a great way to do so is use like a scale like this. You should buy one if you don't have one, get one on Amazon. And weigh your proteins cooked. So like if you have chicken that you have in the fridge that you want to eat for lunch, grab a plate, place it on the scale, and weigh it out. I typically stay around like 5 ounces of protein, whatever source, and that usually keeps you around 25 to 30 grams of protein in that meal. Okay, just as a form of reference. Um, Pam said, Coach Joe, where would I be able to find the recorded nutrition seminar in the link you shared previously? I will send it out to you guys. I guess I can send it out as a mass text so that everyone can see this. So, any other questions? Yeah, of course.
Everyone's eating dinner right now.
Yeah, I'm hungry too. Talking about all this
Hope you
food.
guys are eating protein.
All right. So before we end, I just want to ask you guys a couple questions. So what are the key action plans that we're going to take leaving from here? Everyone just feel free to just blurt things out. Okay, Pam said body scan. Amazing. Get a body scan, get a baseline of where we're starting.
Tracking what we're currently eating.
Exactly. Spending the next few days simply just getting an idea of how many calories you're eating in a day, what kind of foods are you eating, how much protein are you consuming in those meals. Not trying to meet anything. You're simply just trying to see what each day has looked like for the next few days. All right, Elizabeth and Nydia said meal prep. Yup, exactly. So go to the grocery store. Spend tomorrow evening, go to the grocery store, cook some meals for the rest of the week. And what I like to do is I like to cook my protein, put them in one big container, vegetables in one container. Personally, for me, I don't like cooking rice at the beginning of the week because it gets super dry by the end of the week. So I usually get frozen bags of rice from Trader Joe's and I microwave those, but it's up to you how you want to go about that. But yes, meal prep is definitely one of the big action plans that we should be taking leaving from this seminar. Eat whole food protein. I love that. Yes. Prioritize whole food protein sources. Teresa said eat more protein.
Have like a person to do it with. I think it helps me to be held accountable. So like you said,
100%.
like not just your spouse, like I plan to do it with like one of my best friends. So we
Yeah, that's like
be
if you
like
guys,
honest with each other.
yeah, I love that. That's a great idea. I didn't mention that actually. But if you guys want, like make it a bonding moment with you and your friend, so you guys can maybe teach each other about little cooking tricks so that you guys can elevate each other's cooking. Let's see. Do you track protein cooked or uncooked? I do cooked. I think uncooked is a little complex.
Yeah. And the like MyFitnessPal, you just look up cooked
cooked.
chicken and make sure it's cooked.
Jennifer?
I was eating when you said. What I was gonna say is with the email you guys sent out and it tells us how much protein we're supposed to eat. I know it's probably a dumb question, but is it the same even on rest days?
Yeah.
I presume yes. Okay.
Yeah. You always want to keep it consistent.
Dang, that's hard, but I'll do it. Okay.
Do you recommend getting meals from a meal prep service such as Mighty Meals? Honestly, whatever is realistic for you. Because there are people who literally don't have the time to cook and meal prep. So if you want to utilize resources like meal prep, like Mighty Meals, do it because they do sell in bulk, like cooked chicken. They you don't have to buy the individual packaged meals. You can buy in bulk cooked meals or cooked protein sources and cooked carb and fat sources as well. Does that answer your question, Ingrid?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I got you. Any other questions? One thing I forgot to mention here in this whole thing is hydration is a big thing too. You guys are consuming all this protein, all of this food. If you guys are not hydrating, it's gonna be very hard for your body to digest all of this, okay? So just as much you guys are prioritizing your fuel, you need to make sure you're prioritizing your hydration. Any other questions?
For the next nutrition seminar, it's going to be more so more on intuitive eating, and especially if you're like a woman, eating according to your cycle and hormones and all that stuff, because that also plays a huge role, especially if you're someone who finds it hard to lose weight. it could be beyond macronutrients and something more hormonal. So the next call is going to dive more into that stuff if you guys are interested in that. Let me know if you guys would want that. It'll be good. We'll talk about whole foods, how to like read the nutrition label, like the ingredients and everything, what to look for. But it'll be a little bit more than just the macronutrients, which is a good basis to learn, but nutrition just goes so in depth. So,
And Elizabeth said, do you recommend taking BCAAs for muscle recovery? 100%. BCAAs are just another supplement that helps speed up muscle recovery. So obviously, the faster you can recover from your workouts, the more output, more performance you can give in your workouts. So BCAAs are a great source. Creatine is something you guys can take as well. Very popular supplement. It just helps your body. It allows your body to store more water, which also is a big component to helping your muscles repair. Any specific brand? Honestly, no. We got Core Nutritionals at the studio. I don't know if we have BCAAs right now, but Core Nutritionals sells it online. Or at the supplement stores. I'm sure you could talk to those people at the front. They'll definitely guide you in the right direction for that.
yeah.
Do you,
I
do you
use
have a list of do you have a list of supplements that you would have people take every day? Like, do you have a list of those somewhere?
Yeah, honestly, I think as long as you get like the basics, like protein would be number one. Like if you don't have protein supplement and you're not getting enough protein, that's number one. But also like if you want to get BCAAs, creatine, those are more like ancillary supplements that you don't necessarily need, but ultimately, if you want to maximize performance, those are things that athletes typically incorporate so that they are able to maximize their performance. And there's obviously like more like vitamins and minerals that you should incorporate in nutrition as well, but those are for a different conversation. But it's winter time, vitamin D. You guys need to prioritize that because we don't get enough of that during this time of the year. That's why we're always so sad. Just kidding. Any other questions?
When you guys think about muscle recovery, look at it as a pyramid. So like you do your workout, right? The next thing that you should be focused on are the whole foods, the way you are actually recovering, right? Then after that, you're focused on making sure you're getting the nutrients you need, and then getting sleep, and then being hydrated. And then once you have all that stuff in place at the top of the pyramid, the smallest amount, then we can start to think about more supplemental things like BCAAs and things, but you can't just get like 5 hours of sleep and then take your BCAAs and call it a day, you know? That's not gonna work.
Ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not how it works, unfortunately. Any other questions? All right. Well, if that's it, then we will let you guys go. Thank you guys so much for attending today's nutrition seminar. We will have one next month. It'll be at the beginning of the month as well. I don't have an exact date for you guys, but if you guys did get something out of this, give me a thumbs up or say something in the comment section because I want to make sure that you guys are benefiting from this. Awesome. Appreciate you guys. Well, you guys have a lovely night and we'll see you guys at the studio for your next workout. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Of course.
Bye.
Bye.